Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today I want to talk a little bit about buying American-made equipment. We'll talk in general about the ability and the viability of buying American equipment, but I also want to relate it to John Deere versus some of the competitors and whether or not this is really more of an American-made tractor. I also want to talk a little bit about the controversy on the right to repair. And if you're here thinking that I'm going to bash John Deere and you're excited for that, that's not what this is. And if you're here thinking I'm going to talk about why John Deere is the best, I'm not here to do that either. Just trying to give my real thoughts on it. And as I often do, I'm making this video as a response to comments that I get. If you guys are addressing something in the comments, then I think I should probably address it on the camera. Last weekend, I was at the Okie Homesteading Expo with the Tractor Yard. When I say with, I wasn't there with them. They were set up in a big grassy area, and I was right next to them. And you saw them in my videos the week before because I found out we were going to be working together at the show. So I decided to go up there and meet the owner and record some videos with them. So going up there, what I found out was that the Tractor Yard is a fantastic family-owned business. And I will support a family-owned business every chance I get, from now till forever. Because that is the heart of what we're looking for on Made in America, right? To support as local as you can to help the people who live next to you and just that sort of thing. So I have an appreciation for this local dealership regardless of anything else that's said. So I spent 2 days hanging out with the Tractor Yard people. They represent Branson tractors, TYM tractors, Bad Boy tractors, Bad Boy mowers, Hustler mowers, Cub Cadet mowers. I think there's some others that I'm not thinking of. And I just love equipment. So I'm just going around looking at it. And when I talk about a piece of equipment on here, I'm not necessarily endorsing it because I haven't put 100 hours or 500 hours on that machine. I'm walking up and I'm checking it out. I'm running it a couple minutes. I'm asking every question I can think of. And then I'm going to tell you the first thing that comes into my head. And most of the time it's going to be positive because I have no incentive to be negative towards a company, not John Deere or any other. I'm just going to say what I think in the moment. And then I get thousands of comments and I read those and I find out, well, you said something positive about this, but 2/3 of the comments are that the owners didn't like it. Well, now I know something. And I'm going to stack that on to my next experience. And that's how we all build an understanding of which brands we want to work with and buy from. And I think that's why product reviews, positive and negative, are so important. So, at this show, I said, man, I was amazed that you could get a TYM 574, which is a dramatically larger tractor than this. Much more capable in every way than mine, with a factory cab and heat and air conditioning for about the same price, $2,000 more, but close to the same price this machine is in an open station. And what do you say to that? There are things I like about this machine better than that TYM machine. There's actually several things, and I'll get into that. But if I walk up and I see an opportunity to get more machine for less money, I'm going to say it. And I had a couple people mad. They said, why are you supporting a South Korean tractor company instead of an American company? And that is what made me make this video. So let's talk in general about American-made equipment. Let's start on the most basic level and talk about, I think for most of us, there's same price, same quality, we'll choose American-made. And, you know, if you're in Australia, you probably should be choosing Australian-made. I'm talking about supporting your local area. So, let's say you go to Lowe's and you want a shovel, and you see shovels ranging from $9 with a cheap wooden handle, flimsy metal on the head, up to like a $40 or $50 shovel. It's, composite handle and looks really well made. It's got a name brand on it. And you got to pick a spot in that range. Now, if that $10 shovel is available at $10 and $20, but one of them has an American-made sticker, are you paying double for that? At $10 you might. At $10,000, are you going to pay double for that American-made sticker? And then if it's American-made, what about the steel? Did they get Chinese steel to make it in America? I mean, these are things to think about. So now let's step up from shovels a little bit. And in the next category of equipment, let's talk about things that we're going to spend $500 to $10,000 on. And that would be stuff like tractors, attachments, and lawn mowers. And in that category, I find there are a lot of great American-owned, American-manufactured, small, family-owned businesses that we should do everything we can to support, if they are supporting us by competing as well as they can on price. An example, right now on the tractor, is the Artilian Grapple. That was started by an individual in the U.S. He designed it. It was a small business, loved everything about it. And due to health problems, he sold it to Curtis Industries, which is a relatively small business in the equipment world, but they've been making tractor cabs in the United States for 60 years or more than that. And it's the type of company I want to support. They're still making their products locally or in the U.S., and I'll pay a little extra for that. But I won't pay triple, right? I won't pay double. You've got to be smart about it. You've got to make sure that there's a premium you'll pay for perceived quality and maybe a premium for supporting local. Same thing with lawnmowers, wood splitters, sawmills. There are companies out there where one individual guy started the company, engineered a product, made it better, hustled, worked hard, kept it in the family, produced it in America, and I'll search those out. There's a lot of examples of that. One reason I went with Hustler Mowers when I had other opportunities with other mower brands is it was founded in Kansas. They're still made in Kansas, even though technically no mower is made in Kansas because the certain components like the tires, there's no American tire manufacturer, so my American-made mower has Chinese tires on it. But these companies are doing the best they can to source in the U.S. And I appreciate that. I appreciate companies like Easton Made and Wolf Ridge on log splitters that started from nothing and built it. So I look for that when I can. But how does that relate to tractors? How does it relate to John Deere? Well, John Deere feels American, right? Feels like you just need apple pie at your grandma's house with the John Deere tractor. But what about, or is it really? And that's what you have to spend a little time to figure out. And I personally love the John Deere brand. Everything about it. The name, the logo, the colors, and this machine. This has been a phenomenal machine for me. I cannot say enough good things about the 700 hours I've put on this and the work it's done. Some of the design features I think are better than anybody else. The way the backhoe goes on and off, the way the mower deck goes on and off. But it's not, they don't win in every category, and I'm not sure they win at being American made. So John Deere, from what I can find and understand without being some industry expert, is that John Deere sources a lot of components from all over the world. It's a Yanmar engine. A lot of companies use a Yanmar engine. I don't consider that to be good or bad. It just is. Yanmar makes a great engine, so it's a positive in terms of quality, but in terms of being American made. They're no more or less American made than any of these other companies. And that's true with a lot of the components. Every company, every tractor, whether it's TYM or LS or Coyote or any of these brands, Kubota, they're using components from different countries. Most of the brands will tell you that their tractors are assembled in the USA because they build them in another country, they crate them up, ship them over here, and put them together. And that's the case with these John Deere compacts. If I was going to say percentage American made and say that this is just opinion, it's just off the top of my head numbers as a point of reference. So let's say that Hustler mower. To me, it feels 95% American made. This John Deere tractor feels about 50% American made. And maybe the TYM tractor feels about 40% or 30% American made. So, and you say, I like the way the backhoe goes on. I like that it's slightly more American company. Maybe. That's just an opinion. I like those things. I like the logo. I like the branding. It's kind of like I like the football team and the baseball team that I like. And I'm not going to change my mind unless something drastic happens. Well, I like John Deere. But I can't ignore facts when it comes to, if I'm giving a recommendation to someone and I see a tractor that will lift more than this one and pull more than this one and cost less, I have to say it. And I might buy it. If I was replacing this tractor today and I won the lottery, or somebody said, Brock, I like your channel so much, I'll buy you any tractor you want. You just pick it. I'd probably get a Deere 4066M or Deere 4066R. Biggest hydrostat they make. I think it's a great machine. Now, let's say we're not in some kind of fantasy world and I'm going to buy a tractor and I want a machine that size and I go price them and the package I want with the features I want at Deere is $61,000 and I go to TYM and it's $47,000 and I go to LS and it's $42,000. I mean, are you going to spend $20,000 for this name with a Japanese engine? Two things can be true at the same time. I can say I love John Deere. I have a John Deere 1941 Deere A right there. Awesome. Love it. I've got a John Deere skid loader. I bought it because it's not more for the performance. That machine, out of everything I looked at, would lift and pull more, just slightly more than the other brands for about the same price. And there were things I liked better and worse about it, but I didn't see a big difference. And that's why I went with it. Not because I believed it was American made, but because I had a relationship with the dealership and it's a strong machine. But if I'm looking at a tractor, what's the number I'll spend? Extra. If I decide two machines are the same. Are you spending an extra $1,000 because you like it? What about $3,000? What about $10,000? What about $20,000? And that's the decision a lot of these farmers are making when they look at $30,000 difference in machines. Now, talking about responding to comments. I get a lot of comments on my video. I talked about how great the mower connection system is on this machine. And a lot of people are leaving comments on there about the right to repair. I've got hundreds of them. Say, yeah, sure, too bad John Deere won't let you repair your own machines. So on a certain level, that makes me angry that there are some farmers who aren't allowed to repair their machines. And as I was listening to it on a cursory level, I was getting upset about that. Why would they want to fight you on that? And it still bothers me. But then I listened to everything I could find on it. I did some reading. One video is like an hour long with the guy who works on tractors for a living, is what it seemed like. And he was explaining to me that it's the same in a lot of industries with a lot of companies. If you have a Ford F-150 or whatever the case is, they will not give you access to their computer system so that you can go in there and adjust your truck. There's a setting on your truck where they could take a computer and without removing anything, if you have a diesel truck, they could delete the DEF requirement, turn off the sensors, turn off the injection, and delete your truck just clicking a couple buttons. They could also change the mileage. And legally, that truck is supposed to have that DEF, that regen, and it's supposed to track accurate miles. So it would be irresponsible for Ford to let you have access to that much control of the computer system of your truck. Now, you could make the case it shouldn't have a computer on it. You want to buy an old one. There's all other things. But if you've bought that machine, I can understand why maybe you shouldn't have access to certain things. And also, if Deere is going to provide warranty on your $250,000 computer-run machine, and they allow you to tinker with the computer, they're going to spend a lot of money straightening out things that people messed up because they didn't understand. And that's this whole big conversation about should you have the ability to go in and shut off the regen, bypass it, and turn back your hour meter and tweak the capabilities of that machine so that you also have the ability to make repairs on the computer system that only a small group of people are going to learn, as opposed to what people are thinking when they see it as right to repair, to think that that means like I can't, if I have broken loader bolts, I can repair those. They don't care. If my tiller, shears off a gear or a belt, or depending on, whatever the piece of equipment is, you have a mechanical problem, you can fix that. You have a four-wheel drive problem with the drive system, you can fix your tractor. You can fix it all you want. They're not trying to stop you. They're not giving you access. And so the more negative, they're not giving you access to the computer that runs your machine, which I think is defensible. I think they're also not, it's a fight to get access to some of the schematics and diagrams. And that is a John Deere problem that I don't think is okay. I think they should be giving you free access to the repair manuals. And nobody does that, I understand, but they should. Isn't it in their best interest to teach you how to fix your machine? I know there's money in repairs and all that, but I don't have a grand point to make to tell you to buy a John Deere or to go visit my very good friend at the tractor yard and buy a Branson tractor from them. And just to make it clear, I'm not affiliated with the tractor yard. I don't get anything from recommending their TYM tractors in the videos. I just say what I see. So I'm not trying to tell you what to do or what not to do, but this is an answer to the people who think that I'm selling out by saying TYM makes a good machine, LS makes a good machine. I've test drove Mahindra and Coyotes. I found things I liked and things I didn't like about every brand. So anyway, I guess I've said everything I had to say. I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.